Welcome to our kitchen. Today we prepare a medieval recipe, a lamb roast with a flavorful green sauce, full of aromatic herbs. We start with the ingredients. We use a leg of lamb and lard for the roast. Then the ingredients for the sauce: white wine and vinegar, and the spices, black pepper, cloves and cinnamon. And then the herbs. The original medieval recipe has 4 mandatory herbs: sage, rosemary, mint and parsley, and tells us to add other good herbs. We chose from our garden lesser calamint, pennyroyal, oregano and marjoram. Our herb mix is a little partial toward the mint flavor, using mint, pennyroyal and lesser calamint. But we suggest following your taste and using any aromatic herb you like. For the purpose of this recipe, it's important to use only fresh herbs. First, we prepare the lamb. We cut a little piece of meat, which we'll cook with the roast and use for the preparation of the sauce. Now, we coat the meat with a thin layer of lard. You can use any cooking fat or oil, but if you want to follow the medieval practice, use lard or pounded lardo. This step will help to obtain a juicier and flavorful roast. Then we cook the lamb. The cooking time changes depending on your oven and the weight of the meat. Using lard will help to avoid a dry roast, but still we must not overcook it or use too high temperature. As you've seen, the bone is already cut, mainly to make it easier to cut the roast at the end of cooking. But this will also allow the meat to absorb more flavor, especially if you cook with wood fire. Now we have plenty of time to prepare the sauce. We grind in the mortar cinnamon, black pepper and 2 cloves. The quantity is up to your taste, but the fresh herbs must be the main flavor in this sauce. Then we finely mince the herbs. We have to pound them in the mortar anyway, but mincing them first will help to grind them faster, particularly the tougher herbs such as sage and rosemary. But if you use a food processor instead of a mortar, this step is really not necessary. Now we add the herbs and a pinch of coarse sea salt. Adding coarse salt at this moment will help to grind the herbs a bit more easily. This recipe is part of an anonymous Venetian cookbook written in the 14th century. The original recipe is just about the sauce. The author suggests serving it with mutton or goat. Being closer to Easter, it seemed to us a perfect sauce for lamb. But you can use this sauce with any kind of meat, as long as it has enough fats. So much aromatic herbs together with the spices can overpower a lean white meat. When the little piece of meat we cut from the leg is cooked, we finely mince it and add it to the sauce. It will help to dilute a bit the flavors and thicken the sauce. Then we add the vinegar a little at a time. A good amount of acidity is fundamental to balance the fats of meats such as lamb, mutton or goat. And choosing a good vinegar is really important for this recipe. The medieval author recommends using the best vinegar we can find. Now we just have to wait for the roast to be ready. When the lamb is done, we let it rest a little and then cut it. Then we plate the roast covered with the sauce. This flavorful and intensely aromatic dish is a delicious way to rediscover the use of fresh herbs and revive the taste of a springtime medieval banquet.